Hello, everyone, and welcome to New Consciousness Review. I'm Miriam Knight, and our guests today are T-Hawk and Red Hawk. Together, they are known as MEDZ HAWK. With a mix of contemporary, traditional, ambient, dubstep, hip-hop, and spoken word, MEDZ HAWK has created a new genre of music they've called alternative. Their balance of male and female energies won for them the 2014 West Coast American Indian and Indigenous Legends Award for Best Male-Female Duo. Red Hawk Woman is an inspirational Indigenous spoken word artist, a published poet, and music producer on the Red Road. Her ambient, contemporary, and dance music includes hand drum, native flute, Hawaiian nose flute, and traditional shakers. Red Hawk learned to produce music in 2012 when she teamed up with T-Hawk to put her poetry to music. Now, T-Hawk is a Native American musician and artivist on the Red Road, whose native hip-hop is a unique blend of traditional and contemporary music and spoken word. He has won multiple awards as Contemporary Artist of the Year and was nominated for Hip Hop Artist of the Year at the Indian Summer Music Awards in 2011 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. His indigenous roots are the foundation of his sound, which soothes the spirit and shakes the soul. Welcome, MEDZ HAWK. Welcome, T-Hawk and Red Hawk.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Hello, Segoskana, bonjour.
Now, you are both artists on the Red Road, as I said in my introduction. What do you mean by that?
Well, the Red Road means there's a way of walking in life, in the native way. Part of it is walking in beauty. Part of it is walking in sobriety. Part of it is walking in humility. Part of it is carrying the teachings in a good way and being of service to others.
Wow.
Yes. I see it. I see it as the return to our DNA, ourselves, our ceremonies, and the balance of our life, like food, diet, spirituality, well-being, bringing back and remembering our ways and cultures, and in that we receive the life's basic instructions, you could say.
Mm-hmm. Now, you both have fascinating family lineages. Please tell us about your background. Red Hawk, would you like to start?
Sure. My ancestry is of Mexica Azteca, Apache, Lipan Nation. I'm also of Cherokee lineage, which is the Deer Clan in the Goss family line, and then also Osage, and then I also have Irish.
Right on, yeah.
What? No Jewish?
No, not that I'm aware of.
T-Hawk.
Yes, I am by mother. I'm Ganye Gahaga Turtle Clan, which is Ganye Gahaga means the people of the Flint, and also there is Tuscaroran and Seneca on my mom's side, which is the native side, and I say Ganye Gahaga, whom the French called Mohawk, because the Haudenosaunee, which means the people of the Longhouse, are a matrilineal society. So we go by the tribe and clan of the grandmothers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And my father is Polynesian from the islands of the Kingdom of Tonga, down by Samoa, New Zealand, with the Maoris, and east of Fiji, and west of New Zealand.
What an amazing eclectic mix. It's almost like you're expressing the whole human condition here. And Tell us the importance of ancestors. You have a wonderful song called "Honor the Ancestors," which we'll hear a bit of in a moment. But this is something that in Western society we're only kind of starting to come back to. There was an interesting series on CNN last night where they followed the genealogy of a number of their stars. And it's so surprising to them that they only knew, like, one or two generations back, whereas this is so central. This honoring the ancestors is so central to the native cultures, the indigenous cultures everywhere, really. Can you express for me in words what you were thinking when you wrote your song, Honor the Ancestors?
Well, Honor the Ancestors encompasses everything from the star ancestors down to the ancestors of the earth, meaning the trees, the water, earth itself, every sentient being upon earth, as well as our human relation, descendant, now ancestors. In honoring the ancestors, we're honoring the DNA within ourselves, which is the remembering that occurs when we grow up and we're activated in remembering our grandparents, our cousins. Quite often, I could share stories. In my case, grandmothers being medicine women of the healing nature with plants, I felt that calling within. And so when we're honoring the ancestors, we're honoring every part of everything that exists in the physical and non-physical.
Yes.
T-Hawk, did you have something to add?
Yes. The influence of my part in the song was giving honor to the lessons, to all the teachers and the teachings, those wisdom carriers and people that run ceremonies and were teaching the songs and all that good information, so we could live in a good way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's hear our first clip. It's called Honor the Ancestors.
Fulfill your purpose, make it worth it. Mother Earth shifts, Earth Mother lives, never given. Ceremonies been given to the men, women and children. Sacred Earth child with that healing smile. Love energy radiates for miles and miles across sacred lands. No need for upper hands, so let them tempt with money and circumstance. All warrior bands heed the call. Vibration sent through cement prison walls. From Yucatan to Niagara Falls. Jungle cat, jaguar, warrior cry. Too many times, too many people died. Physically passed by as their spirit flies up to the skies and beyond. Like our prayer songs from twilight into the dawn.
Very powerful clip. T-Hawk, tell me, what is an artivist?
Okay, and so the use of the medicine, I'll say, which is also known as the art or the music. The music is art, and art is music. It's all reflections of each other, and moves as one thing. And I'm sorry, what was the question?
You call yourself an artivist, I assume,
Yeah.
kind of an art activist.
Yes.
Tell me what you mean by that.
Yes, it's the an artist and then an activist, sliced and spliced into a word and put back together into a word that I found would describe what it is that we're doing.
In your music, you seem to be focusing on a number of different aspects of life. You're focusing on your life coming up as a native, indigenous American, and all the challenges, but also the connection to the planet, the pain of the Mother Earth. What kind of drew you to this particular expression of art, the spoken word and the whole hip hop culture?
Well, one day I thought systematically, I was thinking in a systematic way, and then my spirit awoken, meaning I started to remember things, and I say spiritual activation, having information given to me of more from truth and from elders and teachings that sparked me to I saw what was going on Mother Earth, Turtle Island, and the her story, Mother Earth story, and doing ceremonies and learning from the elders the information that in absorption of it, of all these things. I'm sorry, once again, what was the question?
Believe it or not, you were answering it. You must be channeling the answer. And you as well, Red Hawk, you were a poet and were a spoken word artist. Where does kind of spoken word merge into what we would call rap?
Well, rap is poetry. It's just a different expression of poetry, as is spoken word. And, I've been writing poetry since I was a young girl, probably, 7, 8 years old. And, I started seeing people in the early 90s doing spoken word on stage at music events and things like that, and kind of expressing themselves through their poetry. And I thought, wow, that's really inspirational, Mm-hmm. And early 2001, my brother invited me to do an opening ceremony with him at an event, and I was able to get up and do some spoken word with a drum in the background, which is similar to what John Trudell and had started, Mm-hmm. And so it kind of went from there. In hip hop, I grew up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and it was a big influence in our life. It was a way to express our anger, our pain, our joy. Everything was in it. So it was so much different than it is today, I should say. When it first started out, it was expression of your environment and who you were and who you are. And I feel that's what spoken word and hip hop still are today, when it comes to the conscious part of it. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember reading that when hip hop really started in the 70s, that they had 5 goals of the purest hip hop, and that they felt that it should educate, it should provide a safe haven, it should spread a message of love, peace, and unity, assist others in developing careers and opportunities, and preserve the culture. And it seems to me that, and to other people, in fact, that the Native American hip hop has really been the most authentic expression of that original hip-hop impulse in today's music scene. Would you agree with that?
Well, yes and no, and I'll tell you why. I feel that it's an expression of every Indigenous person, no matter what walk of life you come from. And truly, it started, in what they call New York State, in Ongwe territory, with the African American culture. And during those times, the natives and the African American culture could really relate to each other in a lot of ways in the 70s. We had the AIM, American Indian movement going, they had the Black Panther Party, and all these different things that were trying to reach out and say, hey, we are human beings too. And so with that, that's the commonality in the expression. So with that, I would say yes, but I wouldn't exclude any other Indigenous culture from that.
I wasn't suggesting exclusion.
No.
I was just saying that the real impulse for hip hop as street poetry, as expressing, really, I see it as being like a safety valve to express this pent up emotion and anger and angst.
Yes,
T-Hawk, you were going to say.
Yes, it's in that way it's a medicine. That's what it really was. I grew up I was a 13-year-old child back in the 80s when it was, breakdancing and doing graffiti within the elements that you're speaking of hip hop and DJing and lyricism and that's where the artivist comes from, because it's activism at the same time. It was a conscious movement that was speaking of very powerful things for many different people, and once they got a hold of that and they found out how powerful that was, and at times it was in a compliance or cooperation with this system that is in place right now across the Mother Earth by maybe quote unquote elite A.
Well, let's hear another clip now. This one is called "Let the Love Flow."
You gotta let it go, let the love flow. Sometimes you gotta let it go, let the love flow. Sometimes you gotta let it go, let the love flow. Sometimes you gotta let it go, let the love flow. Never forget who we are, descended now, ancestors from the stars, earth, mothers, children, sacred beings, living and surviving, beautiful spirits thriving across Turtle Island, while them corporate snakes and their slaves attempts to take away sacred ways. So we pray, taking a stand, action conveyed, tobacco down to the ground, with the ancestors laid to a wampum peace, friendship and trust. Cleopatra's needle gathering stardust, unify we must. Warriors protect their women from the cities to the brushy brush, feed the hemp, sativa, indigo and kush. School where ain't no lush, and creator we trust, not a systematic hush, monetary rush, leaving all creation crushed. We discuss the answers and solutions, sustainability, not pollution, keeping the medicine movement and moving, show improving, soothing, no resentments, only betterment. Ocean shore, K-Lady beach, sunset time, calm breeze, bringing peace once more. Harmony, heart and mind, connected through these troubled times. Rain or shine, synthesize speed and rhyme, radiating medicine vibrations out for all humankind.
Right, let the love flow. Okay. Tell us about your sound. What instruments are you using?
Oh, wow. We use a hand drum, 2 or 3, 4, 5 different types of flutes, and 2 or 3 different
Okay,
types
you have to tell me, what is a nose flute?
Oh, wow. I was in Hawaii on Maui for a grandmother's gathering, and that was in 2012. And we met with a renowned nose flute player. His name is Anthony Natividad. And Hawaiian nose flute is made out of bamboo. It's very similar to a regular flute. However, they play it with their nose because the Hawaiians say that the nose is the most sacred breath because the mouth can tell lies.
Ah.
So it has a very deep sound depending on the size of the flute. And, it was very beautiful to learn. And you play it on one side or the other depending on if you're playing it for yourself or for others.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. And in your music, you express such tenderness for humanity, but also a very cosmic kind of metaphysical vision of our, star lineage. Red Hawk, what is your connection to the stars? I understand you also have a connection to the crystal skulls.
True. The connection to the stars is, wow, how do you explain that? Well, it's our ancestry. There are elders. There are star elders. And
did this come through a vision that you had, or absorbed from your ancestors, from your physical ancestors?
I feel that it comes from all those directions, from the physical DNA to the stories, to dreams, visions, visitation of star beings. And I don't know, when I look in the sky, I feel them and I hear them. There's no other way to explain it to someone other than it's like a dream. You're having a vision and you hear these things and you feel these things and you just know within your spirit that they are truth. And as far as the crystal skulls, that was an interesting way how that came about as well. And I was told about a crystal skull carrier, and the night that I was told about a crystal skull carrier, his name is Manik, I had a dream where the crystal skull that he carries, her name is Kamesimi, took me around the world and showed me every place she'd ever been until the last place that she had been, and kind of told me a story. And when I woke up that morning, I was in awe. I didn't know what had just occurred. And so I called my friend that had told me I needed to meet this person, Monique, and told her what happened, and she said, you need to call him right now. When I called him and told him the story and every place that Kamesimi had took me, he said, well, I know she's talking to you, because every place that you mentioned she's been, and the very last place that you talked about, which was Japan, is the last place that she just came from to me after traveling, not just 2 weeks ago. So it kind of took off from there, and the crystal skulls are very interesting. They send you messages, and they do talk for those who can hear. I know it sounds really off the wall, but I know it's true. I mean, I've never experienced anything like it before. And they're star elders as well. I mean, they're created from and come from other dimensions and manifest back here on Earth, from my understanding. So I hope that answered your question.
Off the wall is commonplace here, actually. T-Hawk, you mentioned that you had an awakening. How did that come about?
Okay, in many ways, that came about. It's almost like you could just the feeling you get when you're underneath the stars and the moon, and feeling that energy, and it carried in information. It's not written down or being said at that time, but you can feel it and absorb it, and just like the recognition, the awakening of recognition of self, the true self, and the breakdown of the ego, that of the way that things are taught in a systematic way, which may not be native friendly or Polynesian friendly at that, eh? but but anyhow, that feeling, recognizing that who we are, and connecting things and thoughts and ideas in a good way, such as like being we're a version of the modern day storytellers of the ancient ones, the responsibility to carry bundles and to carry messages and songs and things like that in ways, and not only just no longer just talking the talk, but also walking it too, at the same time, like connecting the heart and mind, and channeling from spirit, and moving forward through life in a good way for the betterment of things. Everything's energy, so we want to have a high vibration that's healthy and safe. Okay?
Would you say that the awakening that you two have had is quite widespread among your peers and families and communities?
In our local area, I would say yes. Although I think we've both experienced seeing more and more people with the same visions and expressions and walk in life, as we're all awakening.
Yes, as we're walking and come across people, things, animals, come across signs and confirmations in life, through many ways, talking to people, taking walks, going to shows, to ceremonies, or even to someone's house for dinner one night. And so all these things are held in a sacred way, and the recognition that life is very precious, and what is the purpose, and then with the more open thinking level on that, and not just always the becoming a leader, maybe.
It's very interesting that you put such a question mark on the end of that word, because in fact it is up to those who are awakening, as you are showing the way, to step up as leaders and to come out, if you will. There are so many people awakening today. All I can do is encourage all our listeners to please acknowledge what you are feeling, acknowledge what you are experiencing, and step up with courage and be that in the world.
Oh,
Nyaweha.
Lasso kamate.
So, one of the things that occurred to me as you were, particularly Red Hawk, were talking about the connection to the stars. Those of us who live in the cities so rarely see any but, 2 or 3 stars here and there. I remember a few years back camping on in the dunes on the Pacific Ocean. And, crawling out of my tent at 3 a.m. with my eyes totally dark adapted, and opening them and being absolutely astonished by this splash of incredible light in the sky. And it really is so awe-inspiring to see that. And you get this sense that you could just travel out of your heart up forever. And we totally miss that experience by living in cities with our light pollution. What a lack, what a pity.
It is, and that's why we encourage people to go out and connect with nature, to connect with Earth Mother. Listen to Earth Mother sing to you, listen to the birds, the trees. They all have messages for your spirit. And when you look up at the stars, you can feel the immensity of it and the connection of it all at once.
Yeah. You have a song called T-Bird Spiral, which is a bit different from the other ones that I was listening to. It seems to be more musical, for one thing. Do you feel that your style is evolving? Is this where it's moving, or is it moving away from this?
For sure, definitely. There's constant motion and evolution processes in full effect.
I think we're going to continue to be eclectic until we're not. I think that's the best answer. It all comes from spirit, and we're completely open to whatever comes through. So, T-Bird Spiral was such a beautiful gift. T-Hawk created the music and put the words to it and asked me to listen to it and said, now please come and bring the beautiful medicine. And it just all flowed. And it's one of my favorite songs, definitely.
Well, it is now one of my favorite songs as well. And I want to share it with our listeners. So let's listen to T-Bird's Spiral.
ancestors dancing somewhere in the rain. Eagles fly high above in the sunshine. In Creator's time, life's purpose revealed. Path's not easy, and yes, nobody said it would be. Keep sending your cedar sage smoke prayers. Creator's listening, while the tears in your eyes are glistening. Warriors' hearts remain strong. Can you hear it in the winds? Sacred song. All relations gathering in the re-embering sacred firelight. Circle up, keep your chin up. Brighter days in every way are ahead. Keep those good thoughts in your sacred mind. It's between spirit above and heart below. Keep it flowing, keep it movement. Star fires, Orion's pillars, 7 sisters. Sacred chalice, 9 flint knives. Tree of peace and crystal skulls. Sacred agreements acknowledged. 2 row wampum, 2 paths, 1 sentient being, interconnections. One door closes, another opens. To everything there is a reflection. It's not good or bad, it's life's balance. Awaken aware, Thunderbird.
Yeah, that was T-Bird's Spiral. You know, the pain you're expressing in this song is just so moving. It's like the whole native experience, the whole indigenous experience of the planet crystallized in one song. You said that you got this kind of by inspiration. Tell us about the backstory.
Oh yes, it's basically it's just the way that how I feel, like because in the awakening was also a traumatization of the spirit, of the information absorbed and putting it all together so that I could understand it, and with that came some awarenesses. I was, because of some things and some people in some ways that I was taught as a child wasn't really truth, so I had to relearn and absorb with the wisdom and awareness and knowledge of the author. Who is this speaking to me, and move from there. Whether it's an elder, a native elder, indigenous elder, or a suit and tie guy on Wall Street,
Right. Okay. The picture of a guy on Wall Street playing indigenous instruments doesn't quite compute. But, you know, maybe that's where we're moving in our evolution.
Let's pray so.
And in fact, you know, I've interviewed a lot of suits who have had an awakening and realized that they have it all, and why aren't they happy? So, you know, when they go into self-exploration, they change their path. I would say that they actually discover the red road.
Exactly. I have a friend in England. His name is Andy. We call him Andy Party. I won't reveal his you know, issued name, but he worked on his family. Placed him on Wall Street, doing the stock market, and he also is we grew up together as children, and listened to the same music. Like we were both in what they call upstate New York, what we call Onondaga territory. at the same time uh, during the birth of hip hop. He now carries the same thing, and you know, we're good friends, and he makes medicine music too. So yeah.
Do you find that this movement is growing dramatically, or just kind of holding its own, or what? This native hip hop.
I believe that it's a revitalization, and that it's time. I think we were all seasoning during the '90s, and learning and finding ourselves and awakening, because a lot of us were younger, and then some I guess it's all about environment and opportunity to be able to hear the vibrations and to absorb them, and then it becomes a part of you. And I think that as natives, as a Turtle Island peoples, Ungwe, Anishinabeg, that we've finally now have come to the point where we sound decent.
I would go a little further than that. You know, I kind of predict that the messages that you're expressing in your music are going to cross out into the mainstream. What kind of audiences do you find to be most receptive at this point?
Well, the audiences, believe it or not, we have from 6 years old on into the 80s, you know, in Earth years, listening to our music. People that would never even consider listening to hip hop are now reconsidering that. You know, we find that there is more and more people awakening, and as mainstream sees that more people are awakening and not asleep anymore, they will be looking for artists who can express that. And our prayer is that, you know, the next generation will be able to bridge that. You know, if we have to blaze the path for them, we're honored to do that. And it's not an easy path. It's very humbling. But that's our prayer, is that one day it will be bridged.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So I'd like to know whether you are actually teaching your music. Is this something that can be taught, or is it something that just comes from inside?
From both, from all directions, in many forms and ways. I see it as everything that comes out from within has been there for even before the time period of that where I was inside of this shell, this body carrying the wisdom, the ancient wisdom through the tones and these words and learning from circling back and learning from all the relatives from everywhere, being reminded of how they sound and the important teachings and stories of the stars and the ancient wisdom of the star seeds that are activating all over Mother Earth, and listening very closely and learning and sharing as fast as we learn, to give it away for free, it's like that.
Have you had any connection with some of the indigenous South American communities? You know, they talk about the eagle and the condor.
T-Hawk and I are the eagle and the condor. And the ring of fire. Yes, we have had connections with some of the indigenous peoples of South America. Several, the Quiros, the Incas, the Maya, the Azteca, what most people call today Mexica, as well as the Ring of Fire indigenous people, and that includes New Zealand, Australia, Hawaii, Samoa, Tonga, all the way down to the tip of Chile. So, and it includes all of that in our teachings, or not in our teachings, in the teachings we've received. Excuse me.
Yes, always absorbing the prophecies and observing, watching, and participating in the good things and learning, absorbing the information of life's experiences and putting it into our own understanding of experience. And it's influential, inspiring stories of and it's things are really happening if you look around, and the unification of the eagle and condor, and the north and the south, southern tribes, nations. It's safe to come out again.
Red Hawk, where you've created some spectacularly beautiful videos where you've pulled together art from many sources. Where do you get this vision and the art?
The art is from all over the internet. The vision is, as the music plays, I can kind of see where things fit in. If I go and look for that artwork on the internet, or I've seen it before and remember it and go in search of it, and then put the videos together that way. It's an interesting process when we're done, and I show it to T-Hawk, and he's just like, wow, and I'm looking at it going, well, I don't know.
Okay, I'll add a vote to the wow side. So tell us where to find out more about you. First of all, I think we should remind our listeners that MEDZ HAWK is MEDZ HAWK. So where can your music be heard? Tell us about websites and things like that.
Our website is www.medzhawk.com. We're found on SoundCloud under MEDZ HAWK Official. DMT Hawk has his own page, and Red Hawk Woman has her own page. And you can purchase most of our music. We have one album out right now on CD Baby, and we will be adding more music as time permits.
Very good. Is T-Bird Spiral in the album that you have out?
It is.
Good. Very good.
And you can find that one on CD Baby.
Okay.
You can also find, they link it through SoundCloud as well. They make it quite efficient.
Very good. And is there a message you would like to leave with our listeners?
Love.
That was his message.
That's a good one. Kind of says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah. Connecting the heart, mind, and spirit through your own inspiration, you will inspire others. So go with your heart.
Well, you two are indeed walking your talk, and it's been a delight to have you on the show. Thank you so very much for being with us today.
Yahweh, thank you so much. We love you too, and
Flaso Kamate, it's an honor.
Remember that descriptions and links to all the media we discuss here on the show can be found on our website, ncreview.com. Next week, our guest will be Maureen St. Germain, talking about how to be a genie and create love, success, and happiness. Please join us. And now I have an announcement that gives me great pleasure. We are about to launch our first issue of Harmony Magazine, an interactive multimedia, multi-platform publication that is chock full of articles, audio interviews, and reviews of the kind of media we at New Consciousness Review just love. Media for empowered and enlightened living, media that will change the world one person at a time. Look for it on our website, the iTunes newsstand, the Google Play Store, and more. That's Harmony Magazine, envisioning a world in harmony. And now we're going to close with one more track from MEDZ HAWK called Ambient Native Vibe.
Dimensional portals, talking with the seen and unseen. The soul flows, gifting, uplifting, shifting. Wind whispering trees, rivers reflections in all directions. Sacred fire glowing, reminders of sacred life, infinitely flowing. Knowing, no falseness, only restless nature stirring. Ahiana hey me away. Ahiana hey me away. Ahiana hey me away. Vibrational raising, drum beats. Heart and mind, living in harmony with all relations, Creator's guidance, universal, timeless, circling the stars, embraced in loved ones' arms, soft song harmonies of two beating hearts, two hawks, music and the arts, forming dimensional portals, talking to the seen and the unseen. As the soul flows, gifting, uplifting, shifting. Hey ya, hey ya, hey away. Ahiana, hey me away. Hey ya, hey ya away. Hey ya.
That was Ambient Native Vibe by MEDZ HAWK and Red Hawk Woman, the duo known as MEDZ HAWK from an album of the same name. They actually have a website, medzhawk.com. That's MEDZHAWK.com. And if you go there, you see a beautiful homepage and a notice that says that the website is currently on Vision Quest, but you can follow them on Facebook. So I do invite you to do so. Well, that is our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join us next week. Until then, I'm Miriam Knight for New Consciousness Review. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.